Hello my friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa Stringworks workshop. Today's project involves something I've never done before in my life, so I'm going to give it a shot here on camera for the very first time. So those of you who are experts out there, you might as well just hold your comments because I already know I'm no good at this, and so you don't have to tell me. The project involves working on this horse trailer, and I'm at the point on the horse trailer where it's been painted, all the mechanical things have been fixed. I'm ready to put on the windows and the trim and things like that. Everything else is finished. So that involves some aluminum trim around the windows. Well, the aluminum trim for whatever reason got thrown away, so I have to make new trim, and I'm making it from scratch. I bought an aluminum spool gun from Harbor Freight that goes with my titanium 140 little MIG welder. I'm really impressed with that little welder. And so I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and try the spool gun out and see if it works. Well, quite honestly, I've tried practicing with it a little bit off camera. It ain't pretty. I'll just tell you right now, it ain't pretty. Let me show you how unpretty it is. This ain't too hot. You can see it's pretty bad. But at the end, I started being able to control it. Really, I've gotten it way too hot, that kind of thing. But I'm way lower than everything that it recommends, and I'm still burning through this thin material. But I think I've got it under control enough that I think I can weld these trim pieces up. We're going to try it on camera. If I ruin it, I just ruin it. That's all there is to it. We'll just have to try something else. So here we go. So I've got these trim pieces cut out to make the window shape. I've got them clamped down, squared to the table. This piece would go across the top up here like this, and this other piece would go on this other end. I'm not worried about the other pieces yet. I just want to get this one corner squared up and welded. My practice welding, I was using fire bricks under it. I'd heard that this zaps too much heat out being on a metal table. I don't know. I'm going to try it right here for the first time on the metal table. I'm burning through so fast that I thought maybe the metal table will help with that a little bit. Plus, I think I've got the heat dialed in now. It's just, when you've never done something like this, especially as complicated as this is, who knows what's going to happen. I may ruin it on the very first try, so let's give it a shot and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to do this in very short bursts, so it's not going to look like your normal welding technique. I'm just going to tell you up front that I'm going to do it on purpose. We'll see how it goes. Okay, well, I'm getting too much buildup now with it being on the metal table. Yeah, I know, it don't look great. By the way, I have dedicated this stainless steel brush to aluminum only, as you can see on here. I meant to clean that up with this before I welded it, and I didn't do that. That would have probably helped too. Oh well, live and learn. Well, it may not be pretty, but for the first attempt, it's probably at least as good as I thought it would be, if not better. It does look like it's welding all the way through, though I wasn't really symmetrical. It does seem solid. I think what I'll do is just grind this off. I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm just going to go to the next corner and get that set up and weld it, and let's just see how this all goes. I'll learn as I'm going. Well, I'm ready for corner number 2. I did turn the heat up just a little tiny bit. I mean, like not even a full point. Yeah, not much better, maybe a tiny bit better. Yeah, not a lot better. I think it'll hold, but you know the old saying, a grinder in paint makes me the welder I ain't. Well, that's kind of the way this is going to end up being, I think. But I'm okay with that. You got to start somewhere, and this is where I'm starting. The difference is I do it in front of thousands of people, and I'm not afraid to fail. Well, that looks close enough. Again, I'm getting a little more buildup than I need. I'm not quite sure what the culprit is there, if I'm just running too much wire speed. But I've got the wire speed turned down well below what is recommended. I'm going to try turning it down a teeny bit more. And we're going to do the last joint. And see how that goes. Oh, that looks much better. But I kept it going that time. That's probably what I needed to do the whole time. The reason I went to the sputter, just a little bit at a time, was because I kept burning through when I would do this before. But then again, I had it on the fire brick rather than on this metal table. So this was a much better weld. Not a great weld by your good welder standards, but a pretty decent weld. I'm not ashamed of that weld. Rest of them are not that great, but I think they'll hold. And like I said, there has to be a first time. There has to be a learning curve. So there's the most recent weld. Respectable, not a great weld, but I can live with that one. Let me clean it up and it'll even look better, I think. Yeah, there's a hole there at the end. I could have let the gas run for a second maybe and stayed there for a second. I don't care about this. I'm not really too concerned how perfect it is. I had to start somewhere, and this is the starting point. I will just, file those down or grind them down a little bit. It's going to serve my purposes fine for this old horse trailer. Now I got to make the next one, and maybe I can do better on the next one. Okay, this one I'm just going to go ahead and get it all welded up, and I'll show you at the end. Not great, but that ain't too bad. I'll take that. That's the best one so far. It's fairly flat. Just about right, if you ask me. Uh-oh. Well, it was right until I just bent it just now. Clamp caught a hold of it. Doggone it. Can't win for losing.
blind, I am really struggling to see through the mask well enough to do a good job. But that's not just this kind of welding, it's all welding. I really have trouble seeing through the mask, and I even have it turned all the way on the lightest setting. So it's just the way it is with me. But that's not terrible. Look at it, I got full penetration all the way through. Quite honestly, it doesn't look great though. I see like a line, which probably means it's a weak point and might crack later. Wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't crack, but it's not a bad first effort. I'll tell you what, I'm not ashamed of that first effort. Not great, but not terrible either. Better than I expected after doing my practice runs. I'm glad I did the practice runs though, because I would have definitely had it way too hot and heated and burnt through this so quickly. And even turning it way down, it still may be a little hot. But I'm fairly happy with that result. I really am. This one here doesn't really need that much grinding. A little bit maybe, but not bad. And so, my friends, I'll conclude with not the best welding job I ever saw, but not totally ashamed of it either, considering it was the very, very first time I've ever tried welding anything of any consequence with an aluminum MIG gun, spool gun welder. So, thank you so much for tuning in. I would appreciate any helpful suggestions you can make in the comments section. The guys that want to ridicule me, just feel free, because like I said, it's just water rolling off a duck's back. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.